I know I'm penmanship isn't as good.
That's way better than mine.
Luella Markle is signing over what was essentially her birthday present. It was her request to have nearly 300 of her birthday party guests just donate to Covenant Kids.
The birthday, it was surprisingly big and just like breathtaking, and what other words could I expect? It was a happy time, and still it was like mind-boggling to know that many people would come to a party for me.
A lot of people care about her. A lot of people wanted to make her special birthday very special. So when we put the word out to say, come and join us to celebrate, we had a lot of people that wanted to join in with that. Grandma would probably tell you that she doesn't need any more stuff. So we said that instead of bringing gifts, if you'd like to make a gift to Covenant Kids, we'll make sure that it gets there. And people really, really supported that. They know her work history with Covenant and wanted to obviously support that. They know that some of our family members have been served by Covenant over the years, including my son, Elijah. And so it just seemed to make a lot of sense.
Al's son Elijah passed out at school in December of 2014. He was rushed to Covenant Healthcare and was found to have a brain bleed.
There is a hemorrhage, an area of blood clot that's in the brain here, that's in the substance of the brain, in the back part of the brain, and going into the ventricles of the brain. This should be spinal fluid in here and in here, so that should be dark gray instead of it's filled with blood from this hemorrhage that occurred in the brain and then went into the ventricle of the brain. And on some of these cuts we see a sort of a round area right here where there's the reason for the hemorrhage, which is the angioma or cavernous angioma, which he has had probably for many years and not known it. It's a small grape-sized area that just happened that day to rupture and cause a fairly large bleeding area in the brain.
Elijah recovered quickly but still lacks some vision in his right eye. He was back to school and sports by the end of winter in 2015.
So many people were praying for me. My parents said thousands, like thousand-ish people, a couple of hundred at least. So, awesome. And a lot of people kept me in their thoughts.
Fast forward over 2 years and Elijah really doesn't want to talk about his brain anymore.
No one really talks about it anymore. So, yeah, it's died down a lot.
School is...
Me.
And he's busy with sports.
Soccer, basketball, boys volleyball, and yeah, that's it.
Elijah is happy that his grandmother's birthday raised so much money for the pediatric department that helped him.
A lot of people came, all of our family. A lot of people, I had no idea who most of them were, but a lot of people, and she loved it. She's been talking about it since then.
His grandmother is still overwhelmed that so many people came to her party.
Oh, I was like flabbergasted or see that amount of money that people donated, and I was just amazing. That I just don't know what other words to use.
Many of those at the party were from the hospital, doctors and nurses that worked with Luella when she was a nurse at Covenant. She remembers a real baby boom there.
We had always, most of the time 40, 50 babies. Highest was once about 70 babies, and so when you gotta feed them all, I change them and take care of them and admit them. It was always, admitting was always, well, time consuming compared to keeping the babies fed and just quiet them, hold them if they quiet a lot. That's what I like the best.
I remember I went in there and Lou thought that I was the new father. She come out and asked me, "Can I help you?" I said, "No, I'm just gonna come and work here." I think that was Lou. That's what she told me. She told her kid too. She come in because she thought that I am the new father.
Hardest part was going to work. Well, because when you lived out here, and sometimes in the winter, yeah, when snowstorms, I was home, and I had to be to work, so I walked down to the hospital from here.
Now Luella gets a bit of help walking, but she's quick to say how proud she is of her family, and she's so thankful that her grandson is doing well.
He's a super kid. He's so thoughtful and kind and takes care of me. Escorts me, sees to my car, sees that I'm buckled up.
Things have gone wonderfully in our family. We've of course continued to go back to Covenant a couple of times for his routine checkups, and everything is checking out well with him. He's, you know, your typical active 13-year-old kid. He's playing soccer, and he's, making life interesting for his older brothers, and all kinds of stuff around here for us. He's always keeping us laughing, for sure.
Al says that Covenant will always have a special place in his family's prayers.
Yeah, you know, when we were at Covenant for those 3 weeks, it's hard to describe it. You build a relationship with the staff members. And Beth and I still talk about how much we miss some of the staff around there. We have gone back a couple of times just to say hello and see how folks are doing. What's really interesting to me is when we kind of happen upon somebody out in the community at a store or something like that, and that's always kind of a nice reunion as well. One of my older sons had a very minor incident that we had to go in for some urgent care, and the physician assistant happened to be there, and of course we chatted and recalled some things from that time. So it's good to just stay connected with people who were such a vital, important part in our lives at that time. You know, we spent Christmas with our Covenant family essentially, and you don't forget something like that.